Girls DMR underway here.
Banana.
One of 3 time finals. We will have Defiance, Walled Lake Central, Walled Lake Western, I apologize, White Lake Lakeland, Farmington, Lima Senior, Macomb, Dakota, and Utica. Defiance in the lead early on. 150 meters in. Walled Lake Western now and Defiance. 2 very similar jerseys. We'll do our best to keep them straightened out. Defiance running with the numbers on the back. A requirement in Ohio, but not up here in Michigan. Lima Senior running 3rd. White Lake Lakeland 4. I think that's Macomb, Dakota in 5. Defiance, Walled Lake Western, Lima Senior, about 75 through that first 400. White Lake Lakeland, Macomb, Dakota, Utica, and Farmington.
DMR heat number 3, could you please step over here? Heat number 3, ladies DMR.
Defiance opening up their lead. Got about 7 to 10 meters up on Walled Lake Western. Those 2 teams have pulled away up by a little bit over 25 meters now over 3rd place, which is now White Lake Lakeland over Lima Senior, Utica, and Macomb, Dakota all running together. Farmington behind them. Defiance up now, about 40 meters up on Walled Lake Western, almost 50 in fact, with 2 to go. Walled Lake Western up about another 25 meters on White Lake Lakeland. Utica about 10 meters behind them, and behind them Lima Senior about 30 meters. So very, very spread out race. Macomb, Dakota challenging Lima Senior here. Farmington about 15 meters back of them.
Everybody has the time. Does everybody, that's the 4th runner, have hip numbers? Everybody's got hip
Defiance here, 1 to go. She's opened up her lead to almost 75 meters. Their seed time is fast, but it's not that much faster than everyone else in the heat, so we'll have to see if those other legs come back. White Lake Lakeland has overtaken 2nd place now. 1 more blue jersey added to the mix. Utica in 4th. Macomb, Dakota 5. Lima 6. And Defiance is on the home stretch here, getting ready to hand off to the 400 leg. 358, 359, 4 flat for that 1200. All alone, and the lapping has begun for Defiance. White Lake Lakeland, great second half of that 1200. Coming in here, 4:15. So Defiance currently with a 15-second lead, up almost 100 meters. Walled Lake Western, 4:25. Defiance has now left Utica, 4th place. Utica, 4:33 at the handoff. White Lake Lakeland coming around here. 2nd place. Lima and Macomb, Dakota here, getting ready to hand off. Farmington behind them. Walled Lake Western runner still has 1 to go on her 400 leg. Defiance runner's handing off. The Utica runner still has 1 to go. Although she is cutting in, trying to make this handoff as difficult as possible. About a 70 there for that 400. Second to hand off, White Lake Lakeland. The runner is shaking her off, and it was most definitely her turn. Created all kinds of confusion. They did get it. They're still in second. In a mix of lapped runners. Walled Lake Western third. Utica 4. Not too far behind Walled Lake Western. 800 leg for Defiance, starting to catch up to Utica. Absolutely no structure down there. No one is telling these girls when they need to be out there getting the baton. At some point, it's up to the meet managers to be in charge of this. Walled Lake Western here. Third place. Utica 4. Defiance is our number 1 team. Farmington has overtaken Lima and Macomb. They've moved up 2 spots. Defiance still with the numbers on their back. They're the leader. Down the backstretch, right next to the orange of Utica, who was voted the best jersey of the meet unofficially by the 2 announcers here. White Lake Lakeland is our second place team. They have made up quite a bit of ground. They're only down by about 40 meters now. I know that may not sound like much, but they were at one point down by about 100. So quite a move up here. White Lake Lakeland 800 runner has a very nice stride. Third place, Walled Lake Western.
Anchor, do you have a number on your right hip and your right chest? Beautiful. Now I'd like all the 2, 3, and 4 runners in heat number 3 to follow me.
The Defiance runner is coming in now. I believe it is her turn to hand off. So Defiance will hand off. 8:05, 8:06 overall. White Lake Lakeland has closed the gap somewhat. They're at 8:15, 8:16, 8:17. So 10 seconds back when they were once 15. We'll see if this mile leg can keep that improvement up. Walled Lake Western will be next to receive the baton. Their runner is about 25 meters halfway through the front stretch right now. First place Defiance is now chasing them, the third place team. White Lake Lakeland chipping into the lead. Couple of seconds here, couple of seconds there. We'll see if they can get them. Utica, fourth place at the handoff. Lima, 5. Farmington, 6. Macomb, Dakota will be 7. This is Walled Lake Western coming in. That is your third place team. They were once close to Defiance, so they pulled away. Avoided the lap. White Lake Lakeland, meanwhile, is coming back on Defiance big time. gaining about 5 meters a lap here. By the end of this race, they should be neck and neck racing for this win. Fourth place, Utica. Fifth place is now Farmington. Sixth place, Lima. Seventh place is Macomb, Dakota. Defiance, what was once a 100-meter lead, is now down to about 2.5 strides. White Lake Lakeland runner has run a very patient race. She knew she could get her. She's just under halfway through the race, actually, and she's already made contact. We'll see if she can pass her, if the Defiance runner will try to hold her off. Walled Lake Western about 125 meters back of the leaders. And she's about 100 meters up on fourth place. So absolutely no one to run with for Walled Lake Western. Hopefully her coach and teammates are yelling out some splits for her. Otherwise it can be easy to get lost in that shuffle. White Lake Lakeland has now taken the lead over Defiance. White Lake Lakeland runner is pulling away. She's got 15 meters now on the Defiance runner. She's caught Macomb. Walled Lake Western still in third. Utica 4. I apologize. I believe Utica has been taken over by Farmington for fourth place. Utica is now 5.
We have a team 4x200 meter relay for their name is Stand, and the team to the 4.
Very confusing right now. I hope our lap counters are keeping it straight. White Lake Lakeland coming across the line. Believe she's got 2 to go. Defiance behind her. This Farmington runner is passing her, but she is still a lap behind. So she is in fourth place still until she catches the Walled Lake Western runner about 50 meters ahead of her.
Yeah, that's right.
Coming in right here, Walled Lake Western, third place. Farmington is your fourth place team. She is gaining on Walled Lake Western. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Gun lap here for White Lake Lakeland and Defiance. Defiance has come back. This could be a race this last 200. The White Lake Lakeland girl, though, has very nice turnover, and she is cruising down the backstretch as she has now lapped third place. $75 meters to go. White Lake Lakeland is going to take this first section. 14 minutes on the clock right now. 6 flat for her split. 6:01, 14:09 as a team. Defiance second behind her. Walled Lake Western third place, still has 1 lap. Farmington, though, is gaining very closely. They are the fourth place team. If they can catch Walled Lake Western, they will be third. Utica 5. Believe Lima Senior is 6 and Macomb, Dakota is 7. Farmington runner getting very close on Walled Lake Western. 50 meters to go. I'm not sure the Walled Lake Western runner, she picked it up. I didn't know if she knew she was there or if she just decided to sprint it in. 14:59 shows you just how spread out this race was. 50-second gap between first and third. Farmington right behind her, Utica right behind them. Believe Lima Senior could still have one lap. They are being informed that they have one more lap, and I believe Macomb Dakota does as well coming off the bend here. But we'll leave that for our lap counters. They don't know. They're looking around. They're going to wait and see what if she stops, then she's done apparently. Nope, she's still got one more. This is why we need a little bit of direction at the finish line. All right. So Lima Senior will finish 6th. Lima Senior 6th. It was about 16-13. And Macomb Dakota coming off the bend here. Gotta give all these girls credit for running the whole distance at least. Amidst the confusion, Macomb Dakota 16-35. Heat number 2 up next. Northville will pull out a B team in here. Canton, Kalamazoo, Lloyd Norks, Oak Park, although I do not see them out there. Livonia Franklin, Detroit Country Day, Saline Northern, Plymouth, and Plymouth Bees team. And gun is off.
Next seat's a big one, right?
Looks like it's Northville B team in the lead right now. One of the red schools. As you know, we have dozens here. At least only 2 in this race. Saline B team on the outside. That's the Franklin in 3rd. Canton, Plymouth, and Plymouth. Detroit Country Day. And Kalamazoo Lloyd Norks. Northville, Saline, and Franklin. 1, 2, 3. About 15 meters up on the chase pack of Plymouth, Canton, Plymouth. I'm sure those 3 schools, or 3 teams, see plenty of each other. 2 of them being from the same team. The other one sharing a roster with them. Northville Mustangs in the lead. Saline 2nd. Livonia Franklin 3rd. Northville, Saline pulling away from Livonia Franklin. They've got about a 10-meter lead right now. Northville, Saline. 3 to go. 2 to go. 3 to go. I shouldn't second guess myself. Livonia Franklin about 20 meters back of them. About another 30-meter gap before Plymouth, Kalamazoo, Lloyd Norks, Canton, Plymouth B, and Detroit Country Day. Things really stretching out now. The Northville runner looking great. Saline right on her heels, though. Coming through with 2 to go. They're at 238, 239, 240, 241. They're going to be about 4 flat for that 1200. Her name's Hannah Fisher, just like brand new. Celine on the outside now, challenging for the lead. Northville runner held her off just long enough, caught her outside at the start of the turn, but she's battling back for it. She is right there. 1-2 coming down the home stretch. They're going to have 200 to go, and it's neck and neck. In fact, Celine just took the lead. 321, 322, 323. Both of these girls going to be right around 4 flat, which would be a great time out of this second heat. Franklin in third, 333. Plymouth, Kalamazoo, Loin Norks behind them. Plymouth and Canton. Celine coming through the finish. Northville right on her heels. 402, 403, 404, 405, 406. Celine with the much better handoff gets about a second and a half up on the Northville runners. Livonia Franklin will hand off next. 416, 417, 418. Celine still in the lead by about 5 meters. Northville second. Plymouth making up tremendous ground. But they may... No one has been lapped yet. A tremendous 400 leg out of Plymouth has brought them from 4th. And they might be second at this handoff. Celine will hand off in first place. About a 64-second split. Oh, the Plymouth runner did still have 1 to go. I apologize for that. So Celine in front. She's got about 15 meters. Handoffs definitely paying off for the Hornets today, as they've made up about second and a half on each of these with very solid handoffs. Ann Arbor Skyline coach Sean Jefferson. I can see him over there working on the jumps. Kalamazoo Loin Norks handing off. Northville still in second. Franklin in third. Don't want to take your eyes off the race for too long, otherwise you lose track of all kinds of places. Celine is in first. Northville's in second, but a distant second. A lapped Plymouth team is challenging them. Third place still belongs to Livonia Franklin. About 40 meters back.
It's during the board hurdles.
Canton, I believe, is our 4th place team right here. 5, Plymouth. 6, Detroit Country Day. Celine still in the lead. She's got 1 to go. Northville second. She's fallen to about 40 meters back now. Livonia Franklin gaining ever so slightly on Northville. It'll be interesting to see that play out in that 1600 leg. Canton in 4th.
It's fresh. Yeah.
Celine coming in hard. They will hand off in the first position, 7:48. The runner tried to settle into her mile race, and her coach Smith prompted her to pick it up immediately. Northville hand off to Kayla Eckenroth. Livonia Franklin not far behind. Eckenroth is a fantastic distance runner, though. It'll be fun to watch her run this mile, something you don't see her do too much. She tends to be more of a 2-miler and a 5,000 runner, part of Northville Girls State Championship in the fall. Celine's got about a 50-meter lead, though. Northville second, Livonia Franklin a somewhat distant third now, about 35 meters back. Fourth place is not Canton like I thought. I believe Plymouth moved into the fourth position, which makes fifth Canton, sixth Loyne Norks. But we'll wait. Seventh, Detroit Country Day. Celine still in the lead. Her lead has shrunk. She's down to about 25 meters. Meanwhile, the lead on position 3 has gained up to about 50 meters. So Northville runner running very strong here. She's looking to make this a race. In fact, she's not waiting at all. She's looking to catch the Celine runner probably within the next lap.
3 laps. And it's tightening up.
3 laps in, 5 to go. Celine in first, but only by about 5 meters. Third place, Livonia Franklin in no man's land. 50 meters. She isn't within a team 50 meters either direction. Eckenroth has taken over the Celine runner. She is now first place and up by about 4 or 5 meters. Celine is second. Franklin still third. Not sure who fourth is, but we will figure that out when we get to that.
Please have the 4x200 meter relays check in underneath the stands. 4x200 meter relays, please check in. And Franklin here at third.
Eckenroth absolutely pulling away from the Celine runner. She's got about 25 meters up right now. Northville girls showing quite a bit of distance step, in case you weren't aware, although I think most of us were. Northville, Celine. About 10 seconds separate the two. Livonia Franklin, third, although gaining on a lap Plymouth runner. Northville now passing Canton. I believe she'll have 3 to go here. 2 to go. She's at 4:05 with 2 to go, running a great leg. Celine runner 4:23, 4:24 with 2 to go. Livonia Franklin, third place, passing the lapped Plymouth runner. She will have 2 to go as well. 12:31 on the clock.
I got my
Northville leads at the gun lap. 450 so far with 1 to go. This is going to be a great time. Selena, distant second. We'll just have to watch what Eckenroth can do there for Northville.
Shooting on a pretty good split for the team.
Eckenroth at 520 right now. She's on the home stretch. 525, 527. 527 anchor leg by the young freshman. 13:26 for the team. Canton still has 1 to go. Celine now coming in second place. 5:58 on that anchor leg. 13:47 for the team. So what was once a close race turned into a 20-second blowout. Livonia Franklin, third place. 13:56. Now we see who fourth place is. I believe it's the Canton runner. This Plymouth runner still has 1 to go. Canton finishing up here for fourth place. Then it'll go Plymouth, Detroit Country Day, and Plymouth again. No, the Canton runner still has 1 to go. I'm just going to wait for them to finish before I say who's finishing. A great race, though, it turned out to be for those top 2 spots. Saline and Northville, 2 of the most dominant distance programs in the state. Plymouth finishes 4th, 14:50. Almost a minute behind third place. Detroit Country Day still has 1 to go. Plymouth runner still has 1 to go. Canton second, 5th place. Canton 6th place. 15:01. 2.5 miles indoors. It's easy to lose track. I got one in.
Yeah, you got another. Did you?
DMR.
Where's he going?
He was over working with his jumpers.
Oh, that's right. Fortunately, you said Skyline coach, so can't make that connection yet. Oh, you want to do that? That's fine. Okay. Yeah, he's a mystery. I got it.
Heat 3 is up next. Saline, Grosse Pointe South, Ann Arbor Pioneer, Cass Tech, Clarkston, Lake Orion, Birmingham Seaholm, Grosse Pointe, and Northville. Lots of familiar faces from the 4x8 earlier. Hannah Cummings leads off for Saline. Sydney Dawes leads off for Pioneer. And early on, it's Seaholm, Saline, and Pioneer in a group of 3. Grosse Pointe South, Lake Orion, Northville, Grosse Pointe North, and Clarkston. Seaholm and Saline battling here. Pioneer just a step behind. Grosse Pointe South and Lake Orion, along with Northville and Grosse Pointe North, with a nice trail back there. As we've mentioned before, 1200 can be a very difficult distance if you are not familiar with it. Go out too hard as if it's an 800 and you pay the price later. Go out too slow as if it's a 16 and you just never get the chance. Celine and Seaholm still tied here, 1-2. 75 through that first quarter. Sydney Dawes for Pioneer, third. Northville has moved up into fourth. Grosse Pointe South behind them. Lake Orion, Grosse Pointe North, and Clarkston round out the heat. Be interesting to see who runs on each of these relays. I know there's a very good mile slated for soon between a Northville, Seaholm, Grosse Pointe South girls. So it'll be interesting to see if they are on these relays or if they're saving up for that individual mile. Hannah Cummings for Celine has taken the lead from Seaholm now. Got a couple of strides up. 154, 155 halfway through her race. Seaholm now. Pioneer has been overtaken by Northville for third place. Northville's looking to move up even more. Grosse Pointe South in fifth. Grosse Pointe North running a very tactical race. They find themselves in sixth place right now. Lake Orion 7 and Clarkston 8th. Hannah Cummings opens up her lead. She's got about 25 meters on the field. Northville, Pioneer, and Seaholm is now the order 2, 3, 4. Grosse Pointe South still 5. Grosse Pointe North 6. 2:35 with 400 to go. She's looking for right around a 350. Northville second. Pioneer right on their shoulder. Grosse Pointe South challenging Seaholm now for fourth place.
A year ago, Grosse Pointe South beat the national records here. A 11:35.
Hannah Cummings striding it out. She's got one to go. She's at 3:10, 3:11, 3:12. Running a great leg here. As is the young freshman from Pioneer. She's in third place behind Northville. Grosse Pointe South in fourth. Seaholm in 5. Grosse Pointe South in 4th. Grosse Pointe North in 6th. Lake Orion 7. Clarkston 8. Hannah Cummings up almost 50 meters on the field. Tremendous 1200 leg. 345, 346, 347. Alexa Ross gets the baton for Celine now. Northville hands off next. About 10 seconds back. Pioneer 2 seconds behind them. Grosse Pointe South, tremendous 400 leg here. We'll see where she can bring them back to. Grosse Pointe North, then Seaholm. Celine has lapped Lake Orion and Clarkston. 28, 29 through that first 200. Orion and Clarkston nearly tied. Northville about 8 seconds back still of the Celine runner. Pioneer 4 or 5 steps behind her. Grosse Pointe South 20, 25 meters back. Celine opening it up. 50 plus meter lead coming into the 800 leg. 48, 49, 50, 60 right on the dot for Alexa Ross as she gives it to Abby Rentschler. They find themselves in the lead by about 10 seconds on Northville. Pioneer 4 or 5 seconds behind them. Grosse Pointe North moved into 4th place. Grosse Pointe South 5th. Seaholm 6th. Abby Rentschler 34 through that first 200. Lake Orion and Clarkston handing off now. They're a lap behind. Northville still second. Pioneer third. Grosse Pointe North running a great race. They're in 4th place. South and Seaholm 5, 6. Celine continues their lead about 50 meters up on the field. 71 through that 800, through that 400. We'll see if she can hang on for the last 400 of her race. Northville second, Pioneer third. They were closing, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to hang on to that pace. Grosse Pointe North runner is going for Pioneer. They want third place. Gaining very quickly. Seaholm runner is now taking fifth. Grosse Pointe South sixth. Rentschler shakes out her arms. She's got one to go. 147 with 200 to go. We'll see what she can split. Northville running second still. Lake Orion has pulled away from Clarkston. Grosse Pointe North has overtaken Pioneer, though. They are in third place and still gaining on Northville. I'm not sure if the Grosse Pointe North runner has any more left in the tank, but she did a tremendous job getting to where she is now. Looks like Pioneer's going to overtake her, though. Get back to third place. Seaholm has taken fifth, in the lead by a lot on Grosse Pointe South. Abby Rentschler about 226, 227 on that handoff to Gloria Park. They find them, they're in the lead by about 60 meters. Northville hands off, 728. Pioneer in third, 733. Grosse Pointe North, 735. Seaholm, tremendous leg, 738. They came all the way back after being a distant sixth to now in contention for fourth or even third. Celine has now lapped the sixth place Grosse Pointe South team. Northville in second, although they are gaining somewhat. 50 meters is a difficult distance to make up on any leg of any relay. Pioneer still third. Grosse Pointe South and Seaholm running 4-5. Seaholm just overtook. Great last two legs from Seaholm after being in sixth place. Kelsey Schwartz anchoring for Grosse Pointe South, doing her best not to lose track of Celine, although Celine has lapped her. I think it's going to try to keep her honest on her pace that she's capable of running. Right around 525 or better. Pioneer third, Seaholm 4, Grosse Pointe North 5. Gloria Park running for Celine, still in first, but Northville is absolutely gaining on her. They've made up about 10 meters in the last lap. This could definitely be a race. Pioneer 3, Seaholm 4, and gaining on Pioneer. It's looking like they could get that third spot. Grosse Pointe North running 5. Northville is gaining on Celine. Celine Coach Smith yelling at his runner to pick it up as she continues to fall back to the Northville runner. That lead has shrunk to about 15 meters. Pioneer still third, although being overtaken here by Seaholm. Seaholm will pass. They're in third. Pioneer 4. Grosse Pointe North still in 5. No one anywhere near them to really challenge for that fifth spot. Northville running a great mile leg, and they have made up the distance, and she's only down about 5 meters now. If she wants to, she could pass her right here, and then we'll see what she has left in the tank. And she will pass. Pioneer passes Seaholm back. They're back in third. Seaholm 4. Grosse Pointe North still 5. Northville has completely passed Celine, although Gloria Park from Celine is not letting her go. Right on her shoulder. I think coaches would have liked to see this urgency a little bit sooner out of her rather than getting caught and now having to get it back. But a battle is always fun to watch too. Pioneer 3, Seaholm right next to her 4.
Yeah, Celine in second and still right there though.
Gun lap right here for Northville and Celine. If Celine's smart, she can use this Grosse Pointe North runner to go around her and really pinch her in. I'm not sure if she's got the kick to do it, but she could box her. In fact, she is the one who gets forced out to lane 3. Gloria Park and Northville in a sprint down the backstretch. Celine takes the edge into the final turn. We'll see this final 50 meters, but it looks like Celine is going to take this. Great leg, 12:27, 12:28, 12:29, 12:30, and 12:31 for Northville. I think that's a little bit closer than the coaches wanted to see, but they'll take the victory nonetheless. Seaholm, meanwhile, moved into 3rd. Pioneer in 4. $12.51 for the Seaholm crew. Grosse Pointe North kicking it in here for 5th place. $13.17. Grosse Pointe South just behind them. $13.21 for Grosse Pointe South. Lake Orion still with 1 to go, as does Clarkston. She is kicking as though she's finishing, but I believe she still had a lap. And her teammates are giving her the wave, so perhaps I missed a pass in there. Lake Orion runner 100 meters out.
Just got to call the hurdles.
And everyone's in.